as I know, Kundalini Yoga is the only discipline that considers the aura to be the 8th chakra. And before we do dive into any questions about your auric field, let's revisit the energy centers of the body for a moment. Has there been one in particular that you've had to work on, say, for example, more than others? It could be speaking your truth. It could be setting boundaries. It could be staying compassionate and true to your heart, or following your passion. Has there been one in particular that's been a standout in terms of your struggles?
I would say boundary setting has always been a challenge of mine. And it's something I work on ongoing with my own coach and, you know, and in my daily practice, but definitely boundary setting. There are times that I absolutely get better at it, but then if I'm sort of out of sync with a lot of other areas in my life, the boundaries are the first thing that go for me. And in fact, I read this fantastic newsletter this week by Danielle Laporte, and it was about that sort of boundaries and saying no. And something in it really resonated with me, because she said, if you're an empath, or you love and care so much about the people around you, and that lights you up so much, that's why it's so hard, because there's a key driver in you.
Oh yeah.
That is motivated and excited to help others. You know, love and connection being one of your major values. It means that to say no, whether it be because, you know, you don't have time, or just because your own needs need to be put first, that can feel really challenging. And that I absolutely resonated with what she was saying there. But I think something that I've learned recently as well with the boundaries is recognizing the times that the difference between if it feels uncomfortable, or if I'm, you know, if my sort of inner critic is jumping in there as well. Because the feeling part, this is actually something my wonderful coach taught me, was the feeling part is more about me. Like, that's genuinely my character telling me what's going to work and what's not going to work with who I am. Whereas when I sort of intellectualize it and start noticing the thought patterns coming in, that's normally just my critic, the inner critic, telling me, you know, oh, you should be more available to these people. That makes you a bad person, if that makes sense. Sort of recognizing the difference.
Totally. And it's also, I think our struggles are also our gifts. It's like when you're out of alignment and out of sync, like you were saying, it becomes your tell. So, you know, when people play a hand of poker, and professional players will always note your tell, whether or not you've got a good set of cards or a bad hand, and they can always pick your tell because they're trained to do it. And boundary setting for me as well is also my tell, because when I'm a little skewed, when I'm tired, when I might not have slept enough, when I might not have had enough time to myself, which is a big one for me, my boundaries can get a bit skewed as well. I think I'm too tired to honor myself, and I say yes to things just because I think I'm keeping the peace, but it's not in anyone's highest alignment to do that either.
Yes, absolutely. And I think when you're in a business and you're growing a business as well, there are a lot of new connections that come into your life.
Yes.
And figuring out how to manage that, along with, you know, those other important existing relationships, those special, like there's a lot to juggle, and therefore the boundaries there I've recognized as something that I really need to be sort of conscious of, because otherwise my weeks and months can go by and I recognize I haven't been putting my time actually where not only I wanted to, but where needed it. I was more reacting rather than being proactive with my decisions.
Yeah, and actually managing your energy in the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.